Otters fans, and welcome on in to another edition of Off the Record, the official podcast of the Erie Otters, right here on the Gem City Sports Podcast Network, presented by Rebbich Investments. I'm your host, Trevor Cabea. On this week's episode of the show, we sit down with Otters digital content manager Peter Wreschinsky, discuss his love of photography, what a game night looks like for him growing up in Colorado, and of course, what he likes to do away from the ring. Come along, let's have some fun. We are here with Otters digital content manager Peter Wreschinsky. And Pete, I know this has been an episode a long time in the making. We've been talking about doing this for a long time, and today is finally the day, my friend. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, really excited to talk to you a little bit today, Trevor.
Absolutely, and a really interesting story. And let's jump right into how you got into this. When did you kind of pick up photography? When did you think, okay, this is pretty cool. I want to pursue this as something that I can make a career out of?
Yeah, so I grew up in Denver, Colorado, doing a lot of skiing, snowboarding, mountain biking, all of that. Started to explore kind of the creative side of it. I had a friend who was really into photography, so me and him kind of started going out and shooting mountain biking contests, skiing events, all that. And from there, I kind of started to realize that it might be a career path for me. So I went to Colorado State University, got a media communications degree, and here I am now.
Yeah, when I was out in Colorado earlier this summer, they're partners with the Rockies, Colorado State. That is, the list of alumni that have gone to that school and gone into this field is really incredible.
Yeah, really good program there, focusing on, they kind of have two sides, the media production and then more of a classic news style writing. So I obviously went down more of the media production. And I still use things that I learned every day in school to help me now, so I couldn't be more grateful for my education.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, and I imagine the Colorado State, Colorado football games were always a joy.
Yeah, definitely got down to a couple of those. They used to play it in Denver where the Broncos play, so
that's cool.
Always electric atmosphere.
And Colorado State is like in Denver proper, right?
Colorado State's in Fort Collins, so we're about an hour and a half.
Oh.
I grew up in the Denver area though, so not too far.
Not too far from home. Not too far from home at all. And then from there you end up in the SPHL, which is a league that you've heard a lot about. It if you know my old broadcast partner Sean Bednard, of course, former voice of the Fayetteville Marksmen. For you, the Huntsville Havoc was where you got your start. Talk to me a little bit about the SPHL, what that experience was like, and how it kind of grew from there.
Yeah, so like you said, I was an intern for the Huntsville Havoc of the SPHL. Worked with a great guy there, Lucas Kalish. Still talk to him this day. He helped me get to where I am now, along with Sean. So I'm grateful for those two helping me out. But yeah, it's a different kind of hockey. It's a lot of Division III players and lower level junior players. So the game here is definitely a little bit faster, a little bit more intense. But it prepared me for where I am now, so I'm grateful for the experience.
What was that league like? Like, talk to me about a game day. Was it more like almost more of like a minor league baseball kind of feel as opposed to the OHL, where for me it has like a super professional, like formal feel about it?
Yeah, I'd say the Huntsville Havoc do a really good job. I'd say they're one of the premier teams, if not the premier team in the SPHL. So from that perspective, I'd say a game day is kind of similar to what we do here. I've never worked in baseball, so I don't have any experience like that, but it's very professional and kind of the same kind of program we run here.
That's pretty cool. I imagine being in that environment too, coming right out of college had to be just a great experience. And again, kind of getting your feet wet in the hockey space and again, growing, there. Did you know that you wanted to go the hockey route, or was it just kind of that was the opportunity that presented itself?
No, so it's kind of a funny story. When I was in college, I think I was a junior, I was going to apply for an internship with the Colorado Eagles, American Hockey League team for the Avalanche. And going through the internship process, or I guess the application process, I kind of got cold feet. I wasn't very confident in myself and the work that I had been creating. Definitely a little bit of imposter syndrome. Looking back on it now, I could have probably gone through with it, but it all worked out. So I got started with the Huntsville Havoc because during college, my parents moved from Denver to Huntsville, Alabama. So after graduating, I didn't really have anything lined up, so I moved down with them. I saw the Havoc were looking for interns for digital media, so I applied. got a response back about 15 minutes later, and the rest is history. So
What was that like, kind of almost not quite culture shock, but going from Denver, Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama? I mean, that's quite a drastic change of not only scenery, but just almost way of life.
yeah, no, it's definitely different and kind of a weird time in my life. Just after college, moving back home, and not necessarily home, it's a new home. Like, I don't have any friends there. I just with my family, and I love my family for taking me in and supporting me during that time. But I just really immersed myself in kind of the hockey environment and becoming a professional in this world. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about the Huntsville Havoc for helping me out.
Again, and that kind of the energy too of hockey in the South. Like, I'm always fascinated by hockey and non-hockey markets. Like, the amount of stuff I've looked into about the Arizona Coyotes just fascinates me of how, that project unfortunately didn't end up working out. But Huntsville, Alabama, you don't really think of as a tier 1 hockey market, but as you mentioned, a premier market in that league. Talk to me again about what that was like, it being, in the South, not really a hockey market, but still doing so many awesome things that group's able to do.
Yeah, so in Huntsville, it's kind of it's a mid-sized city, I'd say. It's probably similar to Erie, maybe a little bit bigger. Their arena, I think, sits around 10,000 people, and
wow,
they sell that place out every game.
Really?
Every game. So
that's sweet. I mean, that's bigger than any OHL rink.
Yeah, no, the people there love hockey. They love, obviously, in the SPHL, there's a little bit more fighting than we're used to here. But yeah, no, people rally behind the team, and it's a huge part of the community down there. So it's really cool to see, like you said, hockey kind of growing in these off kind of random markets, I'd say.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so good for the game to be growing. Even you look across the OHL, guys from different spots on the map, and I think the NCAA rule has certainly allowed for that to become more of a possibility, but it's really cool to see, guys coming from these different walks of life, coming from all around, not only the U.S., but Canada, kind of coming together as one. And I think the growth of a league like the SPHL, or even the expansion we're seeing in the ECHL, has really helped to grow hockey in these non-traditional markets. And I just really fascinates me.
Yeah, no, it's, they're pretty close to Nashville. It's about an hour and a half. So, like, if you think about it from that perspective, you're getting more fans interested in minor hockey and local hockey, but eventually that grows and they become interested in the Nashville Predators or the Tampa Bay Lightning, regional teams to that area. So it's really cool to see.
That's pretty sweet. And not bad being that close to Nashville either. I've never been, but I've heard just such incredible things.
Yeah, no, I've never been either.
Really?
I've driven through a couple times. A lot of traffic, big city, but
yeah,
seems really cool.
Absolutely. Well, let's transition a little bit to your time now with the Otters. Talk to me about when the opportunity came about, and when you were looking and what you were looking for, and how this all kind of came together.
Yeah, so after my internship with the Havoc ended, definitely was still looking to continue in the sports industry, specifically in hockey, just because that's what my experience had been up to that point. So I kind of was just going through the summer, sending out a lot of applications to different places. Still kept a good relationship with my internship manager, Lucas. But from there, I basically was just kind of applying to different things. And one day he reached out to me, said he had a connection with somebody in Erie, Sean. So from there, I kind of started talking to Sean a little bit and some other people who are no longer with the organization. But yeah, they offered me the job. I think I moved up here 2 days after they offered it to me.
Wow.
25 days before the regular season started. So I was kind of just thrown into the fire from there. But I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember it being pretty close to the start of the season, because I remember meeting you like right before the season. That would have been my second year of my internship with the group, and it was like, hey, here's Pete. He's our new photographer. I'm like, well, that's quite the turnaround.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a little tough at first. I think on one of my first days in, we had a meeting and they came into the meeting with 3 printed pages of stuff to do, single spaced 12-point font. Yeah, so just started getting going on it, and here we are now.
Shut the door, lock it up, and just go grind.
Yeah,
man.
Couple late nights, couple early mornings, but love it.
That's so sick. So talk to me about, what a game night looks like for you. What are you typically trying to get out of it? What are you trying to shoot? Is there anything specific that, really, drives you on a game night?
Yeah, so we can start in the mornings. Usually I come in, I load all the graphics and videos and anything we might need up onto the video board. So we get that all set, have a little downtime, maybe make a couple graphics, get some things ready for the night ahead. And then around 4 p.m., I go downstairs and I take pictures of the guys walking in. That's always a favorite. The guys like having those pictures for themselves, and I enjoy doing that. So from there, we'll head back up to the office, do some editing, and then kind of float around, take pictures of people walking in, hand out giveaways, just interact with the fans. I think that's really important, even in my position. And then around 6:25, I head downstairs, talk to the equipment staff, just kind of chop it up a little bit like we're doing now, maybe get a little inside info for the game, what to look for, who to look at. Then I head out to the bench, shoot warm-ups. You'll see me on my phone down on the bench. I'm not browsing Instagram, I'm not browsing Twitter. I'm editing pictures, so I load them straight from my camera to my phone, edit those, send them off to our social media team, and then it's game time. From there, just try and stay locked in on the action. If there's a good goal, I get pictures of the celebration, fights. Usually I'm not watching the fights. I turn around and take pictures of the fans because that's when they get most fired up.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of taking pictures, a lot of taking videos, and a lot of fast editing. We try and get our stuff out as soon as possible so the fans can see it.
Yeah, the turnaround time that you guys are able to pull off, and people at every level, it just fascinates me. It's amazing just how, again, you mentioned you're on your phone, just camera, phone, boom, it's out. It's impressive that you guys are able to pull that off at that speed.
Yeah, no, it's been a learning process for sure. Definitely trying to speed up my workflow a little bit and kind of get everything a little more dialed in, making sure all my pictures look the exact same. But yeah, no, it's part of the job.
Absolutely. And again, that's working in sports, right? For anybody that may be tuned in that, wants a career in sports, wants a career in that field, you got to be quick, but it's got to be great, right? It's got to be your best work, but it's also got to be instant. I mean, that's the world that we live in, especially nowadays with social media.
Yeah. And a lot of sports, you have one chance to get the shot.
Yeah.
If you miss it, you miss it. So we always try and do our best to stay locked in on the game, follow the action, and get a good shot. So it really matters.
Are there certain nights where you're more focused on video, more focused on photos? Does that kind of depend on, what the content calendar looks like, what, kind of goes into that separation?
Yeah. So I guess a little behind the scenes for everyone. Definitely do a lot of switching between taking pictures and videos. That's a good question though. It kind of depends on what we're looking at. So during the start of the season, I need to get a lot of pictures for our graphics and anything we might need for that. And also trying to build up our video catalog as well of just highlights and stuff to use, stuff with the fans, guys interacting with each other. It doesn't always have to be the action on the ice, but try and keep it 50-50, I'd say.
Yeah, again, building up that library of stuff because, again, who knows, one day I might be coming, hey, I want to make a feature on this guy, and then Pete's got all the footage for that. One day it might be, okay, we need this graphic done now, so you'll need a photo of a guy, and then what if somebody gets traded? It's amazing just how, that all kind of works itself out because, again, the more the merrier, especially on the content side.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I actually got a text earlier from Gene from Sportsnet, probably shouldn't have name dropped him there, but asking me for pictures of Schaefer and Connor McDavid together for their game coming up next week. So not only do I have thousands of files, but I need to know where they're at like that. So when people have requests, I can get their stuff.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite parts about my job as well, is the fulfilling requests and like the media requests, especially for photos and stuff, are like, for me, is really cool because then again, you turn on that broadcast and boom, like there's your work right there. I mean, that's got to be just the most rewarding feeling.
Yeah, no, it's cool seeing my name on OHL social media posts. I've seen it on NHL.com, The Athletic. It's definitely rewarding and makes you realize people are seeing my stuff. It's really cool.
Especially, I think one thing that I think gets lost a little bit almost among us as an American team is like this league and the reach it has. Like you turn on Sportsnet and just SportsCenter in Ontario, well, you're gonna have on the bottom ticker not just the NFL scores, NHL scores, but you're gonna have the OHL scores too. Like it's amazing just the reach that this league has, and I think that's a prime example of it.
Yeah, no, not even, in our little market here, but all across Canada, all across Ontario, all across the world, people are seeing the Erie Otters logo and what we're creating. So it's really rewarding.
Yeah, that's super cool. And again, the content that comes out of it, it's unbelievable stuff. And again, from myself to play even just the tiniest bit in that is really, really special. And, it's really, really cool. And obviously for you, speaking of cool, you've had the opportunity to travel a little bit with the team. Talk to me about that, how that kind of differs from a home game night for you.
Yeah, no, traveling with the team it's fun. It's definitely makes you realize the grind that these guys go through, the late nights, the early mornings. Trev knows a little bit about that. But it's a little bit freeing for me. I don't necessarily have to worry as much about all of our sponsored content, interacting with the fans. Like I kind of just get to go in there and do my thing and shoot the game. And yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about the road is like you mentioned, it's almost freeing. Like you're there to kind of do your job and just do your job, right? Yeah. And it's always nice too when you're on the road and you've got everybody taking care of you, which is really, really cool. What has been your favorite experience from being out on the road over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to the Saginaw series last year.
That was a blast.
Round one. I believe it was the second period when we scored 6 goals. I was right behind the net taking pictures. Unreal, like just unreal OHL history. To get there, be there, and capture that awesome experience, and to see the boys win, even better.
Yeah, that was just such a fun series. Like everything about that series was just a blast, especially from our perspective working for the team, right? I mean, it was just a blast to watch that all unfold. And yeah, those games in Saginaw and Erie going 3-0 in Saginaw, like there's just nothing better than even as a staff member walking out of an opposing rink, especially in the playoffs after a W, and especially as emphatic as those wins.
Yeah, no, it's a blast. That's the best part. And shout out to our fans who made the trip to Erie. It's nice to talk to them after the game and kind of see how fired up they are. But yeah, no, great experiences traveling with the team.
What's been your favorite rink that you visited so far around the OHL?
Oh, my favorite rink. I really like Kitchener, the Memorial Auditorium. Just absolutely, it's just massive when you're down on ice level. You look up at the stands and it's just a sheer wall of seats.
Keeps going.
I'm excited to get up to Sioux. We're going to do that trip this year, so get to check out a couple new ones. That'll be cool.
Yeah, the Dort Financial Center in Flint, one of my absolute favorites. Always enjoy. It's amazing, too, to hear, like, what makes a rink better than another for you, because for me, it's about sightlines. For you, it's all about lighting is different.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be an interesting, thought. You walk in and, man, it's kind of dark in here. That's not ideal. For you, you would certainly not want to make a trip up to the North Bay Memorial Gardens because it is not the brightest of rinks there. But, talk to me about that kind of feeling when you walk in.
Yeah, usually when I get to a rink, first thing I'll do is head up to the very, very top row, just get a cool shot of the rink as a whole and just kind of take it in, scope it out a little bit. From there, I'll head down to the corners, see if there's any camera holes. A lot of times at Canadian rinks, for whatever reason, they're not very fond of the camera holes. So do a lot of shooting through the glass when I'm on the road, but no worries there. There's some cool spots in the league too, like in Niagara. I got to go between the benches. That was a really cool experience to be that close, kind of open air to an OHL game right next to the bench. But yeah, it's usually I get to the rink and kind of get my camera set up. I'll go shoot a couple test shots, test out the lighting, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's got to be sick, right? Between the benches, I know Tim gets the opportunity to do that game in and game out, but he's got a big pane of glass in front of him. There is not that in Niagara. I mean, that probably could have gone south pretty quick there. You got to keep your head in a swivel.
Yeah, had a little scare there. Kind of play in the neutral zone. Couple sticks come in, check the puck up, kind of flops towards me a little bit, but Yeah, definitely would be ducking out of the way if I saw anyone.
Not going
quick.
Noah Earlet and getting the glove up there to make the stop.
No, I think I'll save my face and my camera. I'll get out of the way.
Yeah, the equipment goes first, right, in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my-
for sure.
They make you wear a helmet there, right, between the benches?
no helmet.
No helmet. You're just out there just letting it rip.
Like old school hockey, Chev.
That's the way it should be, I guess, right? No, that's such a cool spot. I know Tim was mentioning to me earlier in the office, like, wow, I wonder if they'd let me go down there and do the game. I'm like, Pete's coming on the trip, man. That's the photo spot. So
Yeah, sorry,
that
Tim.
was a pretty lopsided Otters win that you got to do there last year. Ty Henry's first NHL
Yeah.
goal in that game. So again, being that close when your team wins, I think 9-3 was the final.
Yeah.
Like that's just got to be so sick. And then again, the content that comes out of that, unbelievable.
Yeah, especially being that close to the bench. It's kind of rare you'll get a photo camera that close. So definitely some unique angles and just different shooting perspective is always cool.
Yeah, that's got to be unique. Where's your favorite spot in a rink to shoot from?
My favorite spot in the rink, at home, it's definitely in the corners by the camera hole. I also really like kind of, if you're familiar with the Erie Insurance Arena, you'll see me kind of in front of the Zamboni door on the east end. A lot of good access there. I like kind of shooting like a straight angle behind the goalie out. You get some cool angles like that. But anywhere where I can go, I'm not going to complain.
Yay, there you go. That's a pretty cool one, too, because there's not a ton of places where you can get directly behind the net. You'll see in Brampton that's one that you can, but, like, yeah, usually you're off to the side. I know some of the rinks have kind of, like, at the hash marks, they'll have a camera hole, but to get, like, directly behind the net, I mean, that's a pretty cool spot to be, especially for any goal mouth activity or in the second period when the Otters are shooting toward that net.
Yeah. Definitely enjoy going up on the catwalk too. Have a little fear of heights, but if you don't look down, it's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
Just look through the camera. Don't look through your eyes. But yeah, no.
You can get some really unique angles up there too, and some cool little video stuff, right? That turns into that. How about maybe the other part of your job, the editing process? Walk me through what goes through, putting together these videos and these big projects. What goes into that, the time, everything that kind of comes through that process?
I guess for kind of an example, I'll go with the first episode of our documentary series, In the Den. We followed the team through orientation camp, through their scrimmages, their workouts. So a lot of filming on the front end, definitely. Probably over 10 hours of footage that I have to comb through, find what I like. Like I said earlier, it's not always like you're not always looking for a good on ice goal or a hit. Like sometimes you're just looking for the back of a guy's head and the camera kind of catches focus and it turns into a cool shot. So a lot of combing through just random clips, a lot of time listening to music. That's a big part of my editing process is the music. I think it kind of drives the video, drives the narrative. So I spend a lot of time with my headphones on. Basically from there, I'll kind of get my rough clips, lay them out on the timeline, add in my music, do some sound effect stuff, some coloring, whole process. For that video in particular, it probably took about a week of just pure editing for me to put together, not including the tests. Once I cut the video, I like to bring it home, watch it on my TV, watch it on my phone with my headphones, even play it in the car, just to kind of make sure it sounds good everywhere and not just with my studio headphones on my computer. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of time behind the computer screen.
Were you a big film guy growing up? Was there like a film that maybe you model your style off of or really liked the way stylistically it was shot?
Yeah. None that you would know. Like I said earlier,
Yeah.
A lot of skiing, snowboarding, skateboarding films. That's kind of, I think, where I drew a lot of my inspiration from and still do.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. And again, I think that kind of tells the Colorado story. And I feel like it melds very well with hockey and kind of the story that you're looking to tell with a hockey player as opposed to somebody flying down a mountain there. I mean, it's pretty unique.
Yeah, definitely. Hockey is a very fast-paced, high-intensity sport, similar to those action sports I just mentioned. So there's a little bit of crossover there.
A little bit of crossover for sure. And again, that editing process, that is one thing that I've never really – I can do audio editing, video editing, man. whew, it can get to me. So again, those long hours, I mean, very admirable of just kind of, again, you just get in there, you just lock in and just kind of grind out the video, right?
Yeah, a lot of times I'll kind of camp out till everyone leaves the office, and then it's go time from there. Next couple hours, I'm just sitting at the computer, not looking up, just locked in.
Yeah, is that when you feel like you almost get your best work done, when you can just everybody just it's just you and the computer?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way with schoolwork, right?
Yeah.
Like I would always wait till everybody went to bed, and then I would just do my schoolwork, and I would just lock right in and I feel like it would just go faster. It would just be easier because there's no distraction. It's just you and your computer, and it's almost kind of the same thing with that process, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially working with a lot of large files and stuff, it definitely I have a really nice computer in the office, but it definitely goes through some tough times.
Oh, I can imagine. Yes, I can imagine. I know how that goes for sure. Let's step away from the rink a little bit. Talk to me about what you like to do away from the rink. I know big golfer, which is a very popular answer on this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you like to do away from the rink?
Yeah, obviously, kind of moved around a little bit in the past few years, but finally starting to feel settled in here in Erie. Really love the summer. Spend a lot of time down at the beach, paddle boarding, just hanging out, looking for beach glass, just trying to clear my mind a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot going on at work, so it's nice when you can kind of step away. Love traveling. Got to check out Pittsburgh and go to a Pirates game this year. That was awesome. Yeah, just I don't know. I just try and kind of chill out, get outside. Like you said, I love to play golf, so
Yeah.
did a lot of that this summer, probably 2 or 3 times a week. So got a little bit better at golf, but it's a lifetime game. So
I always ask the guys who's the best golfer on the team. Who's the best golfer in the office?
yeah, as much as it pains me to say, it's probably RJ.
Well, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of our stick in our tournaments.
I would say he might be the guy that, when you go away to these golf outings, you got to rely on Mr. Nidzwicki.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit more of a team effort, though. You know,
Okay.
I'm kind of good. I'm really good, like 50 yards and in. RJ's he nukes them off the tee, so we usually go with his tee shots there.
Yeah, go for it and let him. Well, what's the go-to foursome? Pete, Mike, RJ, and who's the fourth member?
Yeah, we've kind of we've had some different teams this year. Our one performance was really good. It was me, RJ, Dave Brown, and head coach Chris Millette.
That's a good squad.
That was a good lineup.
It's a good squad.
So that was probably my favorite one this summer.
Absolutely. And you mentioned traveling. What's been your favorite spot around the country, around the world that you've been able to visit?
Ooh, back in 2018, I got to spend a week at Mount Hood, in Oregon.
Okay.
So me and my buddies, we went out there. We camped out for a week and went snowboarding every day out there on the glacier. So it's in the summer, but it's Mount Hood's a active volcano, or
That's pretty
or
sweet.
dormant volcano.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but
It's a
basically-
volcano.
Yeah, it's a volcano. But there's a big glacier on it, so
Oh, that's
they
cool.
have it open all summer for snowboarding and stuff. So we went out there. It was awesome.
That's pretty sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to be a lot of fun. That's a spot I've never really been to. I've been up into Washington, but never into Oregon. That would be, I imagine, very scenic and beautiful, right? Even this time, even in the summer.
Yeah, even it's so green, so lush. Even I say this all the time. Even when it's raining there, Pacific Northwest is known for that. But even when it's raining there, it's beautiful. You just
Great area
You
of the
see
country.
the green in the background, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've only been to Seattle out there on a baseball trip, but like just the views of Mount Rainier there and like the greenery and just it's a kind of a similar yet different landscape. It's strange how it feels like much greener than it does here in Northwest Pennsylvania. But when you go on these trips, do you bring the camera? Are you much of a photographer away from sports? Are there other things on top of sports that you like to video and take photos of?
Yeah, back when I used to do a lot of hiking, overnight trips, and all that, I used to bring my camera a lot on those. But nowadays, I basically I have my phone with me all the time. So
It's amazing how good the phone cameras
Yeah.
are. I'll give you a little trade secret. A lot of the content that you see, whether it be sound bites, whether it be our media availability from us, like a lot of it is shot on iPhone. We use phones a lot, and it's because the quality it's good enough. Like it does the job.
Yeah, I know a couple little hacks too to make my pictures look
Okay.
a little bit better than the casual picture taker. So
100%. It's amazing just the technology. I know there was a Major League Baseball game end of September that was shot completely on iPhone. Like incredible.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to sell you any products here on the show, but man, like it's wild what you bring that in your pocket. Then you don't have to lug the big backpack around, especially if you're going on a hiking trip. You're already carrying a bunch of stuff, not to mention a camera on top of that. Like it definitely lightens the load a little bit.
For sure.
So, again, while you're in Erie, I know you're a big food guy as well. Talk to me about some of your favorite restaurants. I know that's a big passion of yours as you travel abroad.
Yeah, no, definitely like going out to eat. I love cooking at home too, but there's something about going out to eat and just trying new cuisine, trying a new restaurant. Here in Erie, my favorite restaurant I've been to is probably Bar Ronin.
Okay.
Really good Japanese fusion spot. Which have really good burger for you there.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Good burger. Love a good burger.
Tried the new Serafini's restaurant. They just opened. Great Italian food. Great spot downtown. Definitely will be going back there.
What are some other spots that you've really enjoyed around the country?
Around the country
that you've been to? Because I remember when you went to Vermont last year, the spot you were supposed to go to didn't work out.
I was supposed to go to the Stowe Sandwich Company.
Yeah.
And I was driving past there in the morning, and there was a bunch of fire trucks outside, and I was like, oh, crime scene or something must have happened. Lunchtime rolls around, I look it up on Facebook, and all I see is a post that the place burned down. So
it's such a shame.
Missed out on the.
That's a wild.
Yeah.
Like.
Was kind of excited to try it too, so that sucked. But
yeah, Stowe, Vermont, another cool spot of the country. I've been up there for the Ben and Jerry's factory. My aunt used to work at Derby Line, the border up there that connects you to Quebec. And it's a unique part of the country, Burlington. Kind of boring driving through, but like the greenery in the mountains, pretty cool to see.
Yeah, beautiful. Obviously, growing up in Colorado, I'm used to mountains, but I was very impressed by the scale of them. They were a little bit bigger than I was expecting.
Not quite the Rocky Mountains, though. I mean, I had just the best time when I was in Denver in August of this year. Just the sunsets, the mountains, like everywhere you go on a clear day, you see the mountains.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool spot of the country.
Yeah, you always know which direction west is because that's where the mountains are.
Yeah, like I would 100% go out there again. I mean, there's so much to do, so much to see. I mean, that had to have been a great spot to grow up again, and just how much you can do there.
Yeah, no, definitely super, super lucky to grow up in Colorado, especially as you get a little older and kind of see more around the country, see places where other people grew up in. Yeah, I was super lucky. I used to go to Breckenridge, Colorado every single weekend to go skiing, and, talking to people as I got older, like, going to Breckenridge for one weekend was the highlight of their winter or their childhood, but that was just normal for me. That was every week. So super grateful for those experiences.
So were you a big skier, snowboarder growing up, and do you have the opportunity to do that here now, like Peak and Peak, some of the other spots around?
Yeah, definitely loved skiing and snowboarding growing up. Really good at both. Haven't had the opportunity to get out there to Peak and Peak here yet, but hopefully we get some good snow this winter, and you'll see me out there on the slopes.
You were out there. Were you out there with the guys when they did their ropes? No, you didn't get to go. That would have been pretty cool to do. I mean, again, that's one thing I don't think I could have made it through just the sheer amount of workout that was. But really cool opportunity for the guys there. That would have been another cool little photo chance.
Yeah. I was probably busy editing some stuff in the office.
Yeah, grinding in the office, man. That was the week of the home opener, right? Or like right before.
Yeah.
It was a pretty busy time. If you've ever worked in sports, the home opener is always the craziest game. No matter what happens, playoffs, like anything, home opener is the craziest, except for last year. Let's talk about McDavid night. I don't know how we didn't get to that yet. You're wearing the hoodie right now. What a special night. Talk me through what that night meant to you and just some of the content that was able to come out of it.
Yeah, unreal to be a part of that. never something I expected when I took this job on, to be part of a night like that. But yeah, it was a whole whirlwind. It's looking back, it's a blur, but luckily we have the pictures and the videos to kind of bring back our memory. But yeah, it was really cool. I got to meet Connor before his press conference and just kind of followed him around throughout the night. Got to make the highlight for me was making his highlight video.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Great. Like that, I think you've done some unbelievable work. That one for me is like, that's the magnum opus. Man.
Yeah.
Like that was I remember, I don't know if I even saw it until it went live, like on the video board. I was like, wow, that was, and it just felt like it really brought the night together.
Yeah. I think we tried to go kind of with a unique approach to it. I pulled some clips of Connor when he was like 8 years old playing hockey, and luckily enough, found some similar clips from when he played with the Otters, basically almost like the exact same plays. So I was able to kind of build from that, and then we incorporated some of his. You can't tell the story of Connor McDavid without showing his NHL highlights. Like, he is the best player. So just kind of tied it all together, tried to show everyone in Erie, like, this is the guy. Like, there's a reason we're doing this tonight. So that was definitely a career highlight of mine so far.
Yeah, that was a really special night. Just being around, being a part of it, and just everything that went into it was just unbelievable. Just the scale of that night and what all went into it, and how it unfortunately didn't work out on the ice. But again, in 10 years, nobody's going to care what happened on the ice. Like 6-2 was the final. Who cares, right? Like 97's in the rafters, and that was just incredible. Like the sheer magnitude of everything there.
Yeah, seeing the people of Erie come out and support the team.
Every single seat in the building was occupied, like, and all the T-shirts and just the visual of all the T-shirts on the seats.
Yeah, definitely one of the best nights I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Well, as we kind of wrap things up here, talk to me about kind of what the future holds. What are you looking to do in terms of growth here? And, what does maybe the next 10, 15 years look like? I know that's a very loaded question, but.
Yeah, no, definitely excited for what we've got in store for the rest of this season. We've been working on episode 2 of our documentary series, so we'll be wrapping that up here soon. Excited for everyone to see that. I think people really enjoyed our first one, but this one will be even better.
Yeah, and as you're watching this now, we will be on the road. So we'll be on the road this week in everywhere, basically. We're doing the whole circle, the OHL, Niagara, Brampton, the Sioux, Flint, or Saginaw, then Flint, to wrap it up. So we'll be on the middle of the trip when you're seeing this, coming up about a week or so on from recording. So, I mean, this is this is going to be quite the grind. But yeah, looking forward to what that's going to look like. You maybe give the folks a little sneak peek of that episode.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away.
Yeah, no, definitely going to show some behind the scenes of the hard work our equipment staff puts in. Can't say enough good things about Mark Childerley and the rest of the crew down there. They put in a lot of work, especially for a long road trip like this. So, you guys will get to see some behind the scenes of that, and then we'll cover the games and maybe even show a little bit of Trev behind the scenes too. So you never know.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that at all. But man, this has been a pleasure. It's been a blast. Thanks so much for taking some time joining me on the show.
Yeah, glad we finally got to make it happen.
I know it's been a long time coming. Yeah. Finally able to get it going. Peter Wreschinsky here on the Record. That's going to do it here for another episode of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be with you 1 week from tonight again on the Gem City Sports Podcast Network, presented by Rebbich Investments. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again on another edition of Off the Record.